Okay, so the other question that someone gave, which is a fantastic question, is if two federal agencies are working two independent cases and that turns out to be a part of the same conspiracy, which federal agency will have superiority to take over the case? Fantastic question. This happened to me all the time when I was on the job. You'll be investigating a guy and then you'll find out someone else is also looking at that guy or looking at someone that is involved with your guy, a co-conspirator or whatever. And so there's two ways that this typically happens. Either normally, right, you contact that agent, you figure out, through like a deconfliction service or whatever, you find out that he's also looking at this person. And you contact that agent. Hey man, I hear you're looking at such and such. I'd like to, I'm looking at him too. We've been working him whatever this amount of time and we got this and this, and that's kind of where you don't want to put all your cards on the table and tell them like, I got informants and all this other shit. You don't want to do all that, but you want to like set up a meeting. And what you do is whether, you meet up with that agent at his office or your office, whatever it is. I think it's important. You should bring your supervisor with you. You go in and y'all just have a meeting and discuss your investigation. They discuss theirs. And hopefully they're going to be transparent with you and tell you what they got and what you got, and you guys can come together and work together. Now, does that always happen? No. A lot of this, especially like, some agencies are terrible to work with. Like I know, like for example, like DEA has a very bad habit of doing this where they'll do a case and they won't share no information with you. They'll be like, nah, I don't want to work with you, whatever. And the reason why is because DEA, for them to get their GS-13 is competitive, which means they basically have to they get a GS-12, which earns them about 70, 75K per year, 80K per year. But to get a 13, that's when they're going to hit the 100,000 per year. They need to establish that they do big cases. So if it's a DEA agent that isn't a 13, 9 out of 10 times they're going to be selfish and not want to work with you because they want to have the cases themselves so they can indict it, put it in their, write it up in their promotion package and, get their shit. But it depends on the agent. If he's a DEA agent, he's a 13, he's not going to give a fuck. They'll be cool. It depends on the agent himself and who he works for. Like FBI sometimes is tough. They're annoying to work with a lot of times because they classify fucking everything when it's not classified, which is hilarious to me. I've had it before, bro. I've given them information before, right? And then I'll go back and ask for that information, and then they'll look at me and say, "Oh, that's classified." I'm like, "What? Like what? Stupid! I gave you the info. The fuck are you talking about?" So whatever. That's a whole other thing. I can make jokes on FBI all day and DEA, but yeah. So that's typically how those cases work when you're looking at the same target and there's overlap. You want to come together and work. And actually, I had a really big drug case, organized crime case that started off like that, where we were looking at Latin King gang members, and and I ended up finding out that this FBI agent was also looking at them, and I worked with him, and we just shared information the whole time. We worked really close because he was in San Antonio, I was in Laredo, so I was identifying gang members on the southern South Texas, like on the border, and then he was looking at the guys over there in the San Antonio area, and we were just combining information and working together, and ended up being really cool. So it depends on the agent, man. Some guys are cool, some guys are assholes. It is what it is, but that's typically how it goes when you have an overlap on targets.